Yeah.
Verizon, T-Mobile.
Right.
AT&T, they all lost their data.
Huge, right?
So,
I mean, those are just some high-profile ones, right?
Right.
Hi, I'm Eric.
I'm Mike.
Welcome to the Cyber Sitrep. The
Cyber Situational Report. Ding! We got you on the last one.
God.
I think people are going to start tuning in just to see if we get this or not.
And that was unscripted. That's what's bad. I don't know. I don't have good confidence.
We say the same damn thing every time, and I can't get it right.
I do, but he doesn't. He's the one that always varies.
I mess up.
It's a Mike problem.
I've been dropped on my head one too many times. So.
Well documented, as a matter of fact.
Well documented now. Yes, the U.S. government knows exactly how many times I've been dropped on my head.
Exactly.
After adulthood, I can't comment on how many times my father picked me up and bounced my head.
Right, exactly.
That was parenting back in the 70s.
Exactly. Tough love.
Yeah. You will learn.
So, Mike, if you can remember, what are we talking about today?
What are we talking about today? Oh, we're talking about, man, how did they get my data?
Yeah.
You know?
I was careful. What the heck?
Right. I'm trying to be protective.
How did my data get out there for the world to see on the dark web? Right?
Listening to the Cyber Sitrep guys.
Yeah.
I've implemented all these security
Exactly.
tools.
Waiting for their shirts to come out.
I know. And then they still get my data.
Damn it.
So, I don't know about you, but I know I have. I've gotten an email. I've gotten a letter. I've been notified via, I don't know, however many different kinds of channels that like, whoops, I lost your data.
Yeah, oops.
Right? Have you gotten that letter? It says, Company X, we're sorry to inform you that due to a breach that happened to us on such and such date, we believe your data has been stolen, lost, grabbed.
Right. And, Mike, dating ourselves, but I remember when this was the event of the year when you got that, right? I remember the first one we got was from the Veterans Administration, right? And anybody that was in that fiasco remembers that very well, right?
Yes.
But it went quickly downhill from there, to your point of, Organization A sends you this.
How many a year are we getting of those versus
exactly.
I got one this year. Did you get one this year?
No, absolutely. Multiples, right?
Right.
And you're like, what the heck?
Do you own a phone?
Yeah.
Verizon, T-Mobile.
Right.
AT&T. They all lost their data.
Huge, right?
So,
I mean, those are just some high-profile ones, right?
Right.
And, we mentioned in another Sitrep a long time ago, we talked about how we've been desensitized to this because it's just so darn prevalent and it's in our faces all the time that now we just accept it as normal operations, right?
Exactly. And, that's why we want to do this pod because it's like, well, we know that. I am getting those letters.
Right. But we want to talk more about the mechanisms, right?
How did they really get it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, what happened?
Right.
I thought I was being, again, as you say, I'm being safe. So my data's out on the dark web, I keep being told.
Right.
How?
Exactly. And hopefully nobody's using the same password for all their accounts. Another Sitrep, catch that, right?
That's right. Because, if it's out there, and I'm going to use it for another account, right?
Yep,
That's what they're selling. They're selling our data.
Yep, exactly.
So, yeah, we get notification. We're notified in numerous ways. If you look at your state law, every state, we do not have a national privacy law.
Not yet.
Not yet. I don't know if we could ever get something passed.
Maybe.
But every state does have one.
Yes. And they're not all created equal.
They're not. But typically, a state privacy law will have a clause that if a company loses, and they usually have a threshold.
Yes.
In Colorado, it's 500 records. So a very low threshold when you think of records being lost, when you see the news of, 2 billion records lost.
Right.
Colorado started at 500. Your state may differ. But that clause says you got to notify. You can't just say, whoops, my stuff was lost. You have to actually notify your clients, those people whose records were stolen, that their records were stolen.
Right.
That's typically number one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we get the letters. That's why we get the emails.
Right. So it happens upstream from us, right?
Exactly.
Somebody we're doing business with that has our data wasn't a good steward of that data and has, had that pilfered by malicious actors, right?
So think about those letters you've gotten. Those were the people who lost your data. You had nothing to do with it. You were harmless. You did nothing wrong. But that company did either something wrong or they didn't do enough or they just were unlucky because these things happen.
They do.
Sometimes you hear about it in the news.
And sometimes you don't. right? Which is a great point we wanted to make. How would you check to see
exactly
if your data has been compromised, right? So if you're sitting there fat, dumb, and happy, and you haven't gotten anything all year, does that mean you're
great?
You think you're good? Well, verify that, right?
That's right.
So one of the great resources we recommend, haveibeenpwned.com, right? Pwned is a hacker term, right, for
kind
pond.
of spelled PWNED.
Right.
Have I been?
Not PAW. So, but look them up, haveibeenpwned.com, not pwned, pwned. Got to say it the right way. And put in your details. And if there's any scrapes that have happened against that particular account that they're aware of, they will let you know that.
Yeah.
That's a free service, right?
Free service. And typically you just put in your email. So if you have more than one email, test them all.
Right.
You'll see what breaches your data was lost in. One of the biggest recent ones was they lost the records for when they do background checks and those kind of things. It was like 2 billion records.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for whatever reason, I think because it was a national thing, and they didn't have to tell individually, right? I didn't get a letter saying
no, we did
your
not.
stuff's been...
And it could be because it was so big. To your point, they're like, where do we even begin? So, yeah.
And
so
probably,
use that tool.
They're probably still in the middle of the legal... It was a while ago, but that's going to take a long time for the legal beagles to figure that out.
Right.
And I'm sure at some point there'll be a class action and they'll be forced to send a letter. And
yeah, exactly. So it's coming.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to go back to your statement. How did my data get out there?
That's right.
We're going to do a complimentary Sitrep here next about how do you protect your data, right?
We're not just here to scare you. We will be coming in and telling you what to do.
So we're going to hit this again once you go to the Have I Been Pwned site, see that, yes, your data has been compromised. Or, what do you do, right, for that?
Right.
As well as how would you prevent that from happening to begin with? That's coming, right? We're going to get to that. We just wanted to make sure we broke that apart very clearly here, right?
Exactly right. And so, how did it get out there, right? We've got notified, but then how did it? And we kind of touched on that it's not your fault.
Yeah, let's talk about that, right? It's not your fault, but it happened upstream, right?
Yeah, some companies that you provided information to lost your data. And the scary part about that is you're like, well, they only had my email and password. Great. Another site lost your address.
Oh, no.
And another site maybe lost your social security number.
I see where you're going there.
And now you're like, how come all of my data's on the dark web?
Right.
I didn't give anybody all of my data. So 5 companies, 5 things lose your data.
And guess what? The data that's out there can be aggregated together to build that complete profile of you, right?
That's right.
That's what makes it really nefarious, right?
Exactly. And then so sometimes too, these companies don't lose your data. So you're on a site, pick a shopping site. They're doing great things to protect your data. But you didn't read the small print that, by the way, I'm going to sell your data to research agencies or marketing firms or, you name it.
To everybody that'll pay for it.
That's right. So not only are they making money off of you shopping on their site, they're selling your data off.
So you just potentially exponentially increased how many organizations are going to get your data from one transaction with one company.
Exactly right. And maybe you only bought once.
Right.
But now they're going to sell your data. So if you go out to the Have I Been Pwned site and you look up stuff and you go, I don't recognize that. I've never been to xyz.com.
Right. I don't know who that is.
That's right. This must be wrong.
Surely it's wrong.
Exactly. But no, they probably are a marketing firm or bought it from a marketing firm. So even the marketing firm, say, who bought your data didn't lose your data because they protected it, but they sold it to a dozen places.
Or more.
Any number of those could have lost it.
Right.
So you can see that your data is cascading down into a billion different places all because you bought a pair of shoes.
Exactly. And those people that bought your data may resell it yet again. And again and again. So exponential function, right?
Grows and grows and grows.
You're making me sick, Mike.
Yeah. And another thing that's new, QR codes.
Yeah, your personal favorite.
My personal favorite. I love it.
Didn't you do a campaign where you had a QR code?
I have a QR code that says free coffee that I leave around. And if people click the QR code for the free coffee,
you're so great.
It comes back to our website and said, luckily you clicked it and went to us because you could have been pwned.
Right, so give us your business. Brilliant.
Right. So if you're clicking a QR code, that's collecting some data.
Yeah.
I can tell you, even with the QR code I have for the free coffee, it tells me what IP address you came from, what phone you're using, or laptop, or, it gives me all of this information just from clicking our QR code.
Yeah, all that metadata, right?
Exactly right.
The government tries to say isn't important, but it's absolutely important, as important as the data itself, right?
And if you clicked on that free coffee, it goes to our website that says, sorry, you clicked here. But if I sent you to a site first that said, hey, to collect your free coffee,
give us your information.
Give me your name, maybe not username or anything, but maybe I'll say create an account. Now I kind of get your email and what your passwords might be.
Right, exactly.
Right? So that's another way that isn't your fault per se.
Right.
But it's an easy way to collect some data on you.
Yeah, that's dirty.
And then I send you to a coffee place, so you get a free coffee.
Right.
It all works.
All right, well, let's get to the more nefarious variants of how they get our data.
Phishing and smishing.
Gosh.
Smishing meaning the SMS version of
short
phishing.
message service, right?
Yeah,
for
texting.
phones, text messages.
Yep.
Right.
So it's all about, I think the big one lately is, at least in Colorado, you have not paid your toll.
Right.
And you need to click here to pay your toll.
And pro update, Nate and I both got yesterday one saying we had an unpaid parking ticket. And it was the same basic email, but the URL for the phishing link was different. So they're sharing the information out there, everybody. I mean, it was almost verbatim the exact same. Because I got mine, and literally, Nate, about an hour afterwards, he got his. And we compared them.
That helps when you get two right together. So you can go, I think this is fake.
And we're like, what dumb luck, right? And they were totally different URLs, but the language was almost the same. So once again, in that dark web, in that market, right, people are collaborating, probably paying for these, to have weaponized scripts, et cetera.
The new one I just got is
crazy.
Small business, and it says you're a service disabled veteran owned small business.
Right.
You need to go to this small business and make sure you have a capability statement.
Dirty.
And you look it up, and it
nice.
is smallbusinesssomething.com.
Yes, not gov.
Not gov.
Right.
But it looked legit, and it is
Yep.
all the information you would expect to see from the Small Business Administration. So it's easy to fall prey to those. And again, you go to a site that looks like it's a small business site, or it looks like you're about to pay your parking ticket, and you create an account, or you log in, or worse, they're telling you, hey, you can single sign on using your Microsoft account. So you use your Microsoft account thinking that's going to be your access. And
it's clever.
What happens is they collect your information.
Your login information. And if you didn't have multi-factor, you're going to have a really bad day.
You're going to have a very bad day.
Sitrep. We talk about multi-factor, right? Same thing with phishing, SMS phishing. It's in our social engineering Sitrep. Check that out as well.
Yep.
We go more in depth on that. As you can see, we got a lot of overlap. That's by design, right? Not because we're mentally feeble. Well, that could be argued.
I don't want to say no to that one. That could play a part.
I've never been accused of being a mental giant, so that's good. But
giant in other ways, but not mentally.
Nice.
So, and then public Wi-Fi.
Oh, man.
How many people do I see at McDonald's, Starbucks, you name the public place, a library, the hotel, and you're on this open network that anyone can be. And we've talked about virtual private networks, VPN, going back to another SITREP. But if you're not using them, if you're unaware, your data is being shared with everyone else on that network.
And if it's not at an encrypted site, if you're using something that's unencrypted, then that can be pulled down out of the ether.
Exactly.
And guess what, everybody? That's completely legal to do that, right?
And yes, it is.
At least in the United States.
Exactly, because it's out there. It's open, right? It's floating in the air.
Yeah, you're not hacking anything. You're just
taking stuff out of the air.
Just seeing what's there in the ether, right?
And what I would like to do when I go to these things, especially, I always say I do this at the conferences, you set up the Hilton free Wi-Fi or the Marriott free Wi-Fi, which is my Wi-Fi. So people log on because they want the easy one without a username or password.
My favorite is FBI Van. I love that one. That one's great.
Yes,
When people connect to it, it's like, oh, come on, man. It's just too easy, right?
That's right.
It's just crazy. Anyway.
But if you do that and you think, if you're connecting to Starbucks free Wi-Fi and you're like, cool, I'm going to get on that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're thinking you're on their Wi-Fi and you're not. You're giving up your data. Another way your data leaks out into the world. Yeah. We started off with things that were totally not your fault. And these are not necessarily your fault, but they are gaps in your cybersecurity that are causing your data to get leaked.
Right. Yeah, you could do better. Right?
Yes.
You can stem a lot of this from happening.
Exactly.
Right? Just through good operational security, or OPSEC, as we like to say.
That's right.
In the community. So
yeah, and I know we're going to have the whole pod on, how do we really protect?
And we're trying so hard not to go into that right now because we really want to, but we are going to break it into a separate cast, so stay tuned.
That's right, but I want to hit this one where you get the letter
do.
And it says, here's your identity protection, take it.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Just
absolutely.
Take it. Don't. Yep. And I will say my own frustration with this is they typically give you a year. And it's frustrating if you get identity protection company A because of this breach,
right.
And then next year you get identity protection
and you can't stagger them, right?
Yeah.
So
and it's a whole other site. You got to copy your data over.
Man.
I would say use that as your marketing opportunity.
Right.
Try A. Next year you get another breach and it's a different company and you load all your data into that. And then you get a third one. Which one really worked for you? That might be the one you buy.
Classic case of making lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
So that's what I did. I picked the one I liked best, and that's the one I'm taking advantage of.
Yeah.
Or your bank. Yeah. My bank offers it as part of our fee.
Right.
You pay so much a month to be a member of the bank.
Right.
It's not expensive, and they throw in this as, and if you do the pricing, they're not really throwing it in. It's covering the cost.
Well,
so you're not paying for your bank account anymore.
Right.
You're paying for identity protection.
Well, right, because, if you happen to be one of those unfortunate targets that's been compromised, you may have a hard time getting a bank account if it's happened more than once, right? Banks they usually give you one freebie, right? And then after that, then they start to look at you really hard and go, are you really doing what you need to be doing for OPSEC?
Exactly right.
If not, we've got other customers, I hate to tell you. Right?
And so this isn't really how to protect your data, per se. Right. This is more let you know if your data is out there and or someone's trying to do something with it. You notice it because every time I go to open a new bank account, get a new card or whatever I'm doing, I get an alert like there's been a credit card opened in your name. And I'm like, whew, it was me.
Yes,
you
exactly.
know what I mean?
In this case, yes. It was
right, exactly. If I didn't and I get that alert, then I start to sweat a little more. I'm instantly logging on and seeing what was the card, who was it.
He puts his Kevlar on.
Confirming with the missus that she hadn't done it.
Oh, man. Yeah, exactly. That's funny.
So, but she also knows that if she's at her favorite store and they offer her a card.
Yes.
I will know right away there's a new card on our credit.
Nice.
And I'm like, got a $500 credit limit, did you, at XYZ store?
Right. And that doesn't stop that from happening, but...
No. But you're alerted. You're alerted.
That's funny. I don't want to get in trouble.
And the other one, I'll tell you how you stop that from happening.
Right, which is going to be our next Sitrep. So with that, I think, we want to summarize is that, it's not your fault necessarily. There are a lot of things out of your control, and all it takes is that domino effect, right, of one transaction with one vendor that could domino down to this really elaborate, network of people downstream that get access to that data, and they don't make a good decision from a security point of view. So it's kind of really hard to manage.
It's like that tree. It just filters down like a waterfall into a bigger tree. You gave it up here, but now all these people have it.
Yeah. So stay tuned for our next Sitrep where we'll talk about how you can prevent this from happening or react to that and protect yourself. So until then, thanks everybody. Take care.
Like and follow. Ciao for now. Hey, remember to like and follow us here on our podcast and YouTube channel. And we are coming to you from the Studio 809 Community Podcast Studio at the Next Us, which is a professional cooperative environment for small businesses here in downtown Colorado Springs. You should check them out.
Come check it out.